But first and foremost, can you pop this button here for me? And those are all for you, my man.
Okay.
That is all for you there. So just a couple of assortment of things. Hopefully it doesn't make you too homesick.
I've never actually had one of these before.
Have you not?
No, I've never had Iron Brew. Or if I have, it's been a long, long time ago. But Ribena, man, wow.
Yeah.
That's,
I got some deep cuts for you. I hope that you find that they're satisfactory.
Absolutely, yeah. Again, I haven't had this in years. Years.
Awesome.
Yeah, long time.
Yeah, and then there's
crunchies, man. Jeez, well, thanks a million, man.
Yeah. No, I don't know if you're allowed to have all that kind of stuff right now, being in preseason.
Well,
But
yeah, we'll save them for later. We'll use them off camera, maybe, yeah.
if I'm headed to the Aran Isles,
Yep.
what are some of the things that I absolutely have to see or absolutely have to do before I can go home?
We could be here for a while with it.
That's fine.
Okay, so, well, the main attraction of the island is Dunangus, which is like, it's a big, I was going to say it might have been a ring fort at one stage, but it's a semicircular ring fort at the, semicircular fort, a stone fort, on the edge of a 300-foot cliff, you know?
Whoa.
And that's like 3,000 years old, or, you know.
3,000 years old?
The forts up there, they're ancient. Like,
Oh my gosh.
But, and then you have, right beside that, then you have a wormhole, which you might see, they had the Red Bull cliff diving there in 2015 and 2017, I think. And that alone is spectacular. Like, that's just...
Is it just a hole in the ground? What is this?
Yeah, it's basically, it's almost, I mean, by looking at it, it looks perfectly rectangular. Naturally, there's no, as far as we know, there's no man has kind of gone in there to, like, you know, to knock it out with a hammer and chisel and thing. But, yeah, it's really, really good. And in the winter, then like the water it's wild. Yeah. And in the summer, then it looks beautiful. Unfortunately, a lot of people swim in it, and they don't know what they're doing, or basically people swim to get hurt. So, and then that's the thing about being on the island. By the time you get to the hospital, it's going to be 3 hours later, you know, because the helicopter's got to come pick you up and bring you to the hospital. So, anyway, that's the wormhole. Very cool. As I said, Dunangus is very cool. What else is cool out there? Seal colony, you know, seals, if that's your thing, you know. Yeah.
Is it just like an island that like seals hang out at, or is it?
It's kind of just on the rocks. For some reason, they hang out there. So I guess there's lots of fish there. If you're into diving, you know, you gotta go diving out there. It's loads of fish and cool things.
I imagine the
water's,
the water's really cold though, right?
Yeah, but you get a nice thick wetsuit. Yeah. It'll keep you warm. What else? I mean, there's actually loads to do, you know, like go fishing off the cliffs or kayaking, anything like that. Yeah.
Growing up there's only like 1,300 people though. Like there's.
Oh, that's probably on all 3 islands, I'd say. Yeah,
that's all.
Yeah, probably. On the island I'm from, it's about 800. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, so everybody knows everybody.
Your parents,
yeah.
You're growing up on the island. They say, hey, they gently persuade you to go get a degree. How did that conversation go for you?
Well, I think you said gently persuaded. I don't know if there was much of a gentle persuasion at all. I thought it was an option. Yeah. So I'm like, I have 3 brothers and 1 sister, and I'm the eldest. So it's I feel like I was kind of like this, probably the guinea pig. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's just ends up. Yeah, I suppose long story short, I ended up just going to college in Texas A&M Galveston, and I suppose I know. I was there for 7 years. Well, I got a bachelor's and a master's, so I was there for a long time. But I definitely I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I like the degree. How about that? I've an interest in it. It's not a case where I don't have an interest in what I studied. I definitely do enjoy or like that kind of stuff.
Well, what you studied is awesome. It's maritime like sciences. It's maritime engineering. Yeah. And then it's your master's is in like maritime resources, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. And
Yeah.
and you got your master's while playing for the Sabercats at the same time, right? Or
Yeah.
like pretty close?
Yeah, pretty close. There's a little overlap. There's about a 6 months overlap. Yeah, so the last year of my master's just just to finish up thesis, which was tough, but it was, I was able to. That was the start of 2018, so I was able to join up with Sabercats.
I was reading that there's a traditional boat. It's called like a currach.
Yeah,
Currach.
yeah, you got it.
That's
Yeah.
it, that-
Man, you done your research. Yeah,
So, can you describe what a currach is?
I'll try. So I have a model, a small little one at home, but I wish if I'd known this was questions coming up because I just showed you. So it's a small, so it can be like 1-seater, 2-seater, 3-seater. It's a small little kind of wooden framed boat, rowboat is all it is. And then the outside would be like traditionally be kind of like canvas, and you put tar, tarmac kind of, is that what you call it?
Yeah, like asphalt or something
Yeah,
like
that black stuff, the tar
Yeah.
on it to keep the water out. But nowadays it's probably like fiberglass, to be kind of a bit more, what's that? Resistant to, I don't know, don't say rocks, it's really resistant to rocks, but just more kind of hardy, I guess. Yeah.
A little bit beefier,
There
right?
you go. Yeah, yeah. So so that's a Cork, and at home they have the Cork races, and I suppose traditionally the guys would have their Cork and they go out fishing, and go fishing, all the lobster pots and stuff like that. But yeah,
That's awesome. Well, that's cool, man.
there's no rugby at all in the islands, like.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, it's Gaelic football. Yeah, so it's so basically to play rugby you take the ferry to the mainland and you find a team in there someplace.
Is that how you commute out in the it's the three islands, Inishmore, Inishman, and
Yeah.
Inisheer. Is that the only way to commute? Is just ferries?
So you take the ferry or you can take the plane, and the plane it's like a 9-passenger plane. So it's a small plane. You're sitting kind of right beside the pilot, as in like we're sitting beside each other now, but
Even closer.
Oh, even closer. Yeah, I mean the steering wheel is there, and the pedals move and everything. So it's like it's yeah. So yeah, you have a small plane or you have a passenger ferry. Yeah.
Do you think you're going to feel better lifting the MLR Shield at the end of the year, or the Scotland win in Houston? Which would feel better at the end of the year?
Yeah, MLR.
MLR year.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Would you rather fix a?
Sorry, and I
No,
would say
go ahead.
That's not to take away from the Scotland win. That was probably one of my favorite moments ever. But the MLR now, this will be my 6th year in the MLR, and I'd like to have the shield.
Would you rather fix a bicycle with your brother, or take care of livestock with Brian Powell?
Livestock with Brian. Oh my god. Well, here's the thing. I could fix a bike. Yeah, I could. Taking care of livestock is just not my strong suit. I tried and failed miserably years ago. So I'll have to take the bike. The only reason I was looking at Brian was Brian would probably do all the work, so I'd be just along for moral support or something like that. But that's a tough one. So what do I do, bike or Brian? Asher? Yeah. Chatting with Brian and he'd take care of the livestock, that'd be okay. If I had to take care of the livestock, there wouldn't be any livestock left. So so there you go.
Would you rather win a scrum against the Australian B team that we knew as the Gillies, or would you rather score your open try that you did against Zimbabwe?
Oh man, that's like the only try I've already ever scored. It's like it actually, I think it is the only try I've ever scored. That was just a pick and go. Pick and go. The junior World Tour. That's over 10 years ago, man. So scoring a try is always nice. I mean, I can only imagine it's nice at this stage. It's been so long, but I do love an old scrum penalty. When you get a pushover try, that's kind of like a props dream. At least that's kind of my dream. If you're on their 5 meter and you push them over, and they just touches the ball down, or else we get a penalty try. That's kind of as good as it gets for me. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Would you rather play smaller stadiums that are more packed or bigger arenas that have more name recognition, but then they're kind of empty?
Oh no, small stadiums. You want the atmosphere, yeah.
Small packed stadium. Would you rather be lifted in a line out or attempt a conversion kick?
Oh, conversion kick any day of the week. Yeah, that's not even a question there. And you know what? I feel like I'm not too bad. You know, I feel like I'm not too bad at kicking the conversion. But no, if there's pressure on me to win the game, yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I think us props kind of back ourselves kicking balls anyway. You know, so even though we don't do it very often, I almost feel you should have the camera going the other way, looking at this beautiful landscape out here in Salt Lake. You know.
I saw a picture of you on Instagram, and you're in your USA like outfit, and you're with a trainer, and you have like bandages across your face and up your nose. What's going on there, man?
That was where we're playing Canada. I was up in Newfoundland, and to be totally honest, I have no idea what's going on there. I get my eye cut open at one stage, and then I had something else. I had another cut as well. I think I had stitches in my eye. I had something else bleeding as well, and that's just looked like a bit of a mummy. I think, yeah.
You were all bandaged up, bro.
Yeah.
Let me just ask you this: why rugby?
Why rugby?
Why rugby?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, at home growing up, all we had was Gaelic football, which is maybe it's a bit like soccer and basketball combined, maybe. And I mean, I'm probably not the most skillful person in the world, or what, you know. And I just liked a bit more contact. So, yeah. And then so when I went to boarding school, that's when I was first introduced to rugby, and yeah, there's nothing but contact, and I absolutely loved it. So ever since then, I've kind of been chasing that ball around the place, and yeah, I love it. You know, what is it that makes rugby exciting, that you want to watch it?
So I fell in love with rugby when I lived in England. When I was over there, you know, there's something about the whole community gathering together, not even at the stadium, but like at the pubs outside of stadiums. You could hear the uproar when tries were scored, when conversions put teams up. Like, you could hear just how excited a fan base got for that. Flip side, being here,
yeah,
I think that the really, really cool thing is it's almost like time travel, in the fact of I got season tickets to the first season, to an inaugural season of a league and a sport that's starting from nothing, and it's almost like traveling back to 1920 when the NFL was starting.
Okay.
And they had the teams come up and they had teams drop out, and there was so much drama involved. And the guys were playing because they loved the sport, and it wasn't about these massive bloated paychecks. It was about the love of the game, and they were still working side jobs, doing these crazy hours where, like, it just makes no sense. Like, Saya's getting a lot of love on this, but
yeah.
But Saya works as a restoration specialist,
yeah,
and then goes and plays a game. Lance Williams used to teach kindergarten, special ed kindergarten classes, and then went and would, you know, smash guys on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Like, I love that fact about this sport. I love how much you guys love the sport, and it's just a special, like, endearing thing to me. What game are you looking most forward to this year?
I'm looking forward to the first one.
Yeah?
Yeah, to be honest, I haven't put my eyes beyond that. Yeah, so
just that's the one.
Yeah, you know, so we've, I mean, obviously we have a preseason game in Atlanta next week, which from today, and then we have the preseason game against San Diego the following week, and then we have the first cup game the week after that. So, but everything is kind of, you know, just preparing, I suppose you could say, fine tuning for the cup game. At least that's the way I look at it. Yeah.
Now, like, last year obviously didn't go the way that you guys wanted it to go.
Yeah.
A lot of guys are returning. You guys have some new faces involved, a new head coach. I mean, do you guys can kind of consider this a revenge tour, going back and making sure that, like, hey, no, we're going to put our name on this?
Yeah, I just think it's a sound cliche, kind of new year, new me kind of thing. It's kind of, it's like, listen, this is a new start of the just a new year for the Shield. So it was, just I think a lot of things are different. Some new players, got some new players, lots of old players, new coach. But it's we had a good preseason. At least so far, preseason's been pretty good. Been tough, no doubt. And it's probably why I'm looking forward to diving into those snacks a bit more. But listen, I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to this year. I really am. Yeah.
Who's impressed you so far with the new faces? I mean, you guys got some people from the Crossroads Cup. You've gotten people from the selects. I mean, are there specific people that are more impressive, less impressive? I mean, who stands out in your mind as part of that new group?
We got Joel in from England.
Mm-hmm.
So he was in Newcastle before. So I played with him for a couple of months when I was over there in 2018. So it was great to kind of see him again and to have him over here. You know what I mean? He's played in the Prem, so he's a good experienced player. Crossroads Cups, we have a few guys come in from that, and that's these boys are everybody's hungry. How about that? So I'm not going to kind of say any one particular name or even though I said Joel, but a lot of the guys, it's as a team, it looks pretty good. How about that?
That's good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I think that's what I think. Anyway, we'll see. You can look good, but as long as we play good, that's the most important thing. Yeah.
Let me ask you this: who's the hardest hitting warrior right now?
Jesus, I mean, the big man, the chief. Sai is a pretty tough man to take down, isn't he?
I mean, you can say yourself, but then there's another question if you do.
Saya, Tommy T, you have Hunga, a new Tongan guy, back row. So no, there's a few guys that'll pack a punch. I mean, even Ollie, man, like anybody in the pack. You're not there if you're not gonna, hit hard. So Go on, what's the second part of this one?
Oh, well, if you were going to say yourself,
Okay.
I was going to say who would be the guy that you don't want to actually make the tackle on? Who's the slippery dude that if you hit, that he's going to get another 5 meters?
Yeah, if you're probably looking at those backs here, some of those fat, like Niall or something, like probably Stephanie, and sure, just catching air. That'd be kind of my thing, is just, being lined up with one of those lads. With a bit of space, like that would be my cup of tea now, but
I am always impressed at how fast Niall Saunders is. You think that he's got and he somehow just slips by guys. It's crazy. You just got engaged last year, April 13th, 2022.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Fantastic. When you met Savannah, how did you know that she was the one for you?
Well, it took me a while to figure that out. We were 7 years together before I proposed. So that was a joke, but it was just listen. She played college basketball, and she kind of understood the kind of commitment to sport, that it's sometimes you're here, sometimes you're gone. Like there was 2019, didn't see her much at all. We were gone so often. So, but she supported me the whole, like she was like, as long as I'm enjoying it, she's like, once you're done and have no regrets. So she kind of keeps supporting me, and that really helps, because sometimes when you're having a bad day, she's like, listen, or a tough game, tough match, disappointed. It's just she supports me, so it's means a lot,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see that you guys go hiking all the time from your Instagram. Is that something that's brought on by her? Have you always had a big interest in walking up hills, or?
Well, I mean, when you're here, like when you see the mountains here, I mean, they're spectacular, So where I'm from, like the Aran Islands, the mountains are on the mainland, so. And I don't know why, but just when you're at home, you kind of don't really tend to leave the island unless you have to. At least that's the way I am, So like, I've only hiked one mountain in Ireland, and it was like, I mean, it's nothing in comparison to those things. We like to get outside, like the outdoors, that kind of stuff. I mean, we spent a long time in Texas and in Houston, and Houston's fairly flat, So to see these, like, I don't know, how would you describe them? Just I can't say a skyscraper, but they're huge, So I want to go up that one, Lone Peak. You can't see the top of it yet, but I was hoping to go up that with I don't know if you know this Mike, superfan Mike, the Warriors superfan Mike.
Yeah.
So he done that almost every year, and we had plans to hike it, but just one thing or another, we never got around to it. But still on my bucket list. How about that?
Still up there. Out of the hikes that you have done, what has been your favorite one?
Well, I done Deseret Peak with Mike, but you know what? I really liked. We done Angels Landing.
Angels Landing
in Zion. That place is spectacular.
That's a crazy one.
Yeah,
that's fun.
It is crazy. It's absolutely mad how nobody has been. I would say how more people have been killed. How about that? It was when we done it. It was just before they started doing the the limit of people, so that you could just as many people as possible. And there you are holding on to a chain, and there's other people trying to pass you. It's like, man, this thing is pretty stressful. Like, when we got out the end, I couldn't relax because you couldn't relax until I got back to the to the start. But yeah.
Let me ask you this: how hard is it on a team where everyone comes from all over the world? There's all these different philosophies of rugby. You have Northern Hemisphere guys, Southern Hemisphere guys. How hard is it to kind of marry those two games together so that way you have a cohesive plan of attack?
Well, yeah, I suppose. I think it's kind of like the coach kind of enforces, or the coach says, "Listen, this is what we're trying to do," and you got to buy in, and because you have to have everybody kind of singing off the same hymn sheet. And I know that sounds cliched, but if you don't, then what's the point of having a game plan? So to be honest, I don't think it's too bad. Yeah, I mean, at least from a props point of view, it's still doing pretty much the same stuff anyway. When there's a lot of kicking, I'm just you're running back and forth. That isn't the most enjoyable, but yeah.
So, do you mind talking a little bit about the difference in loose prop heads versus tight prop heads?
Yeah. So if I was just I'll try with my fingers here. So basically, like the tight head has somebody on this side and this side.
Okay.
While the loose head only has somebody on this side.
Okay.
So the tight head is kind of, I don't say he's pushed against two people because it's still kind of, you would say the front row is 3v3, but he has a person on each side while the loose head has only one person. So that's about it. Yeah.
There's nothing different on the pitch when you guys are not locked into a ruck that means that you guys are doing different jobs. It's all kind of the same.
Oh no, yeah, that's
really the only difference.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. I did not know that.
Oh yeah, that's. I'm sure there's probably another few other small differences someplace, but no, as far as I know, that's the only thing I do different. Anyway, yeah.
In the final moments of games, you guys will kick for better field position.
Yeah.
You'll kick for position. I would rather have the possession than kick for field position.
Yeah.
But again, though, that's not a back question. That's a
yeah.
Or that's not a prop question. That's
yeah.
I need to grab one of the backs.
There you go.
What are you doing?
What's going through your head right here? Because I'll be interested in that answer too. Yeah.
To get that. What had you decide on Texas A&M as a school?
Yeah. So I was looking at. I wanted to play rugby at home, and that was I'd done the kind of the Munster underage stuff, and then the next step was going to be, kind of hopefully you're hoping to get a sub academy contract or something like that. And my parents kind of neither knew much about rugby or kind of neither cared much for rugby, I'd say, other than they knew it was a physical game and you could get hurt. So they were like, listen, you have to get a degree. And I was always interested in growing up on the island. You're surrounded by water, so it's there's going to be something to do with the marine kind of engineering or environment of some sort, and all my uncles were fishermen, so kind of marine engineering was kind of what appealed to me, and why Texas? Well, the kind of oil and gas is was huge, and that's kind of what I was looking at, was going into oil and gas or something like that. And you had Houston right there. Galveston is about an hour south of Houston, and Texas A&M done marine engineering. So I was, from my parents' point of view, I was out of Ireland, so I wasn't going to be playing rugby. and I was going to be focusing on school, So from my point of view, wasn't exactly what I had, what I dreamed of, but I suppose we made it work okay,
I know that your grandparents, that's how you're qualified to play for the USA Eagles.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so you don't more about me than I know about myself. Let's see. So my granddad was born in Boston, yeah, and but I've cousins up there, and then my aunt and uncle are up there.
Okay. 24 hours in Galveston. What is on the Paul Mullen? You got to do this in Galveston. You got to do this in Houston. What's on that list?
I love Mexican food.
Okay.
Yeah, I love Mexican food. So there's a few kind of hole-in-the-wall Mexican spots. That's where I'm going.
You want to give a shout out to anyone specific?
Yeah, I mean, there's a I'm gonna butcher this name. It's Mercadito y Taqueria, or Taqueria, something like that. But it's right there on Broadway. Man, I love that spot. What else? Yeah, I eat a lot of Mexican food. I used to eat a lot of Mexican food.
If you have a new rugger, a new kid that's starting to play, what are the things that you're going to tell that kid, like beyond technique or beyond this or that? What would be the advice that you'd give to a kid of that caliber? It's just starting out.
Now you got some hard questions coming. Let's say I feel like work rate, which is like a lot of the guys in football here. It's kind of like you play for is it kind of 10 seconds on, 30 seconds off kind of thing, or you work hard, but then with rugby you're constantly working and you got to keep working. So yeah, just hungry to work, I suppose. We kind of maybe from a props point of view, it's kind of like. There ain't much, nothing flashy about being a prop. You scrum, you hit lineouts. You don't really carry the ball too often. So you gotta embrace the darkness, I suppose. Yeah.
What's something that is near and dear to your heart that you don't think gets enough recognition?
I got a lot to play with here. Geez, I don't know. What I love in Utah here is, and this probably isn't answering your question at all, but it's just like, the stadium is packed out, and it might be the last kind of minute of the game. We might be down by a couple of points, especially was it 2019, 2021, that season. And it's just like with so many last second kind of just wins, but like the fans are just behind us, and it's like it's unbelievable. You're out there and they're just screaming, and it's unbelievable. Zions Bank is jammed. Like that's a great feeling. Like when you go to other stadiums and it's kind of nobody there, it's like you just don't get that rugby game feeling, if that makes sense. It's like the hype isn't there. And so I know that's what makes, especially when it's Zions Bank, and that's home for us, and it's probably the most sold out stadium in the MLR. It's nice for you to call that place home.